Mafe, and I'm a senior designer here at Avo Academy. And I am very excited about today's event. We are going to be talking about what is UX UI and what is its role in AI. So we are going to dive a little bit into this world where UX UI and AI meet. So, without further ado, if it's okay with you, I think let's get to it. So, let me just switch my screen. Give me a second. Perfect. So, today we have a few topics in mind, and we are going to talk about the importance of UX UI design and what is UX UI design, how UX UI helps users, and most importantly, designing for AI. What is that going to look like? If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please drop them in the chat and we'll just have a nice conversation. So, what exactly is UX UI design? So, UX, it's like architecture. So imagine you're going to build a house and you have to think about where to put your bedroom, where to put the bathroom, where the kitchen, and where any of those rooms would be better, right? So a good architect would place, for example, a bathroom next to the master bedroom, right? because because of research and user experience, it's known that people prefer to have a closed bathroom when they sleep or in the place that they like have their bed, right? So typically you will see bathroom next to bedroom, and those are like good architecture principles. The same thing goes with UX. So we're trying to build a better user experience, and to do this we arrange the website or application architecture so it provides a great user experience. So for example, what would happen if you would have next to your room the garage? That is a little bit weird. So architects have to plan so that you have everything in hand, that you're able to flow easily through your house, and that the space is well distributed and that everything kind of makes sense. So basically, UX UI, it's the same thing. It's the process of creating products and services that provide positive and meaningful experience for users. So another way to show with the same analogy of architecture what UX is, imagine you are an architect and you are commissioned to build a house for a family with dwarfism. So you would do a very bad job if you would put all the cabinets very high because they won't be able to interact with them with ease. So as an architect, you have to think that everything is placed in a level that it's comfortable for your users. So the same thing goes with UX. We are always thinking to make designs accessible so that everyone can have and enjoy like a positive and meaningful experience. To do that, how we learn how to do that is through listening to what users want and how they want it and what kind of problems they would have. So this is basically UX. We gather information of the user and then we decide structures for websites and applications that provide a positive experience. So if this is UX, what is UI? So if the architecture part is UX, in UI, we would have interior design. So is where everything is pretty, is basically the face, the digital face of the product. And it's what we see and what we touch when we use applications, websites, and gadgets. So obviously, this also contributes to a good experience because you can also create beautiful colors and give meaningful colors to different actions. So, for example, think about when you are trying to sign in to an application or to a website, that you have this big and bright button that says sign in. So that is the UI and UX together. UI creating a color that is bright, that you can see easily, and the size of the button, it's provided by UX. So consider that it has a good size, that it's not a teeny tiny button, that it's very hard to click. So besides prettifying things, UI also contributes in so that users know how to better interact with the tool, which steps to follow, where to find certain elements. So this is in a nutshell UX and UI. And why is UX UI so important for digital products? So I love to when talking about this, I love this example of the DNV website versus Airbnb. If I ask you, for example, Ilham, in which website would you like to interact? So between these two possibilities that you see in the screen, which one is more appealing to you? What would be the answer? So typically, Airbnb. Exactly. Usually, when I run this exercise in different workshops, the answer is exactly the same. And you could argue and say it's because you go to Airbnb to do something fun, whereas in the DNV, you're going to do something kind of boring. It is true, but if you compare both, I can say whatever you do in the DNV, it's going to be more transcendental and more meaningful than the Airbnb because you're going to get in the DNV an official document. Nonetheless, you would prefer Airbnb because they are masters in UX UI. They have designed their website to provide the best experience, not only having things make sense, everything is in the perfect size, everything is comfortable to use. You arrive to the website and you know immediately what to do. When you arrive to a website like the DNV, everything it's kind of out there. You don't know exactly what it is. The thing that is most important for them is to announce, for example, office hours. And if you see in the screen, you have hours in the important information for DNV customers, then you have other office hours. So you have hours everywhere. It's confusing. The UI, it's not inviting. So research has shown that better UX and UI lead to higher satisfaction, increasing engagement, and ultimately the product success. Because when you feel pleasure in going into a website, and this pleasure, it's not like, oh, I want to eat a hamburger, but it's this micro positive interactions that make you feel good about the experience. You want to come back over and over. And if you want to come back over and over, then the product is successful because you're using it, you're interacting with it, you're creating an emotional bond. So that is why UX UI is important for digital products. Now let's talk about why is it important to users. And I love this example. So basically, a good UX builds trust and satisfaction, and this enables a positive emotional connection. So it may sound silly, but whenever we complete a task with success, we feel a sense of accomplishment. We feel pleasure. Even if it's as like futile or like silly as sending an email. It was like we are used to things working, right? So when things work right, and when we want to, for example, purchase a ticket and everything works fine, when we want to send a message to a friend in a Instagram and everything works fine, we get micro doses of endorphins and these amazing chemicals that give us pleasure. So we're enhancing a positive interaction with the brands because we're making things easier, and you are enhancing the feeling of I am successful. I can interact with this tool successfully, and that is positive. So this is a good example just with UX and UI. And in UI, like the UX can say we need to have a back button and we need to have a next button. And UX would say approximately what should be a good size for the button. But you see, with UI, we're giving it a color so that for the user, it's obvious what is the next step to take. And in this other example to the left, users are more prone to mistakes. So this is why UX and UI, it's important for users. It's because it enhances positive feelings and creates positive connections with the brands. So this is, in a nutshell, UX and UI. And why is it important? Now, let's talk about how UX and UI helps people. So there are multiple ways, and we could be spending a huge afternoon just covering this, but I'm going to mention a few examples. So, for example, UX UI makes it easier for users to understand what they need to do. And this will increase productivity, because if you don't have to waste time figuring out your way through something, you can have it done quicker. And usability, because you will know how to use it. So this is a good example. So imagine having a button that says initiate autonomous control sequence. So first of all, language is very confusing. I am not sure what exactly it's going to happen if I click this button. Second of all, it's way too long. It doesn't look pleasing. It's confusing all over the place. In the other example to the left, we see that we have a very clear message. What you're going to do when you click this button is deploy this vehicle. So you can see how, with the language and something as design, we can help users understand what they need to do. So this is one of the benefits. Another one would be it will help us anticipate user expectations, simplifying interactions without needing for extensive guidance. So what I was mentioning earlier, every time we interact with a platform, with an application, and it does what it's supposed to, we get a sense of accomplishment because I did it and it was perfect. So with design, we can guide users to have that experience, and we can anticipate their expectations and simplify their interactions. So this is very similar to the previous example, not the one before, but the other one, where with simple colors and very clear CTAs or call to actions, we can help users navigate through the experience easily. So this is going to basically give a sense of accomplishment. Another one is it helps communicating errors, next steps, and helps user recovers. So something very important in UX UI design, it's reduce friction. So in the example to the right, and I think we've all been there, where you're filling out a form and it's worst when it's a very long form. And then you hit send, and then you get a message that says error 304. What the hell, it's an error 304. How can I make it right? Or for example, here that it says validation fault, format does not match database, invalid entry. And this is actually true. This happens in real life. It is very frustrating and creates a ton of friction. As a user, what you want to do is abandon the filling out of this form. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. But in the other case, where we explain to the user where was the problem and how to fix it, we are reducing friction. So errors are part of life and it's going to happen. But if we tell users what is going on and how to fix it, it's going to help alleviate the experience and make it a more pleasant one. Another one, it's ensuring that products and services are accessible to everyone. This goes in line with the example of the architect being commissioned to create a house for people with dwarfism. He has to think about creating cabinets that are in appropriate height. In UX UI, we have to make sure, the first thing that we have to make sure is, for example, that text is legible, readable. Let's say readable. So that text is readable. And many times I come across with designs that, for example, have a beautiful background. It's a picture, and then they put this text with a very thin like value, so it's really, really hard to read, that it's a very annoying user experience. Not only that, but people with visual problems should be able to read as well. For example, people that have problems identifying colors and so on and so forth. I forget the name, color blind. Okay, so a good uh, or something that it's going to benefit the user is that as designers, we are creating um, ways so that the design it's accessible and enjoyable for everyone. Uh, we can talk about it later, but if we are, for example, designing for voice AI, another example is making sure that the bot's pronunciation it's understandable, or that it's not going too fast or stuff like that. Those are other examples of accessibility. And what is a practical application of this? So this is an example of a good UX UI user and brand impact. So to the left, you will see a previous UI from Amazon Video, and you can see that the content it's a little bit cluttered, and at the beginning, like you can see that everything is like very put together. You don't know exactly anything about, for example, 13 Lives. What is it about? You just say it's just what watch now, but you don't have absolutely zero clue about what this is. Or this Amazon originals and exclusives being the first thing, it's like you feel like the brand is promoting everything and it's in your face. So they conducted this whole UI revamp and UX, plus incorporating AI. And this was the final result. So you can see that they are promoting, yes, a new feature film, but they are telling you more about it. So, oh, this is actually a series. So it's telling you that it's season 1, what is the genre, which year, if it's included in your subscription. So it gives you more information so you can take action. And then it gives you information that it's a little bit more relevant than just this is what we produce and watch our content, which is what is people in the US watching. And this is the top 10 of yes, movies and series that people are watching. So the information becomes relevant and the UI becomes more clearer. It's easier to navigate. Here you have like the other navigation features, and it's just a ton more pleasant and easy to navigate. Do you guys have any questions before we dive into the AI stuff? Okay, so let's talk about designing for AI. What exactly is AI? So IBM defines AI like this. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is a technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human intelligence and problem solving capabilities. So it's important to understand that the keyword here is simulate. It is intelligent and it is trying to simulate like what a human would do, right? But it will never be able to be as good as a human. And we will understand a little bit of that later. So, how does AI work? So, AI basically teaches computers to handle lots of data, recognize pattern, and act on them. So, AI does a ton of stuff, but I thought that these four things in a nutshell give you a great idea of how does it work and what can it do. So first of all, it helps automate and optimize tasks. So an example of this is, for example, a chatbot. A chatbot, you are automating that users frequently have the same questions, and research has shown that users don't read. So it's very likely that they are not going to go to the FAQ section and learn about how to troubleshoot their problem, but they want to interact with something and receive little by little guidance. So chatbots are amazing for this because they're automating having to repeat the information over and over. And it helps optimize the task because it can redirect the users very quickly to wherever they need to go. Another thing that AI does or it's amazing with is enhancing existing products. So think about voice assistants. So instead of having to unlock your phone, go and find the alarm, then set the alarm. You can simply say, and I'm not going to say it because then my phone is going to create an alarm, but you can say, hey, Twinkle Star, please set an alarm for 3 p.m., right? So this is enhancing something that already exists, the capability of adding a timer, an alarm in the phone, but it's making it easier, more accessible, improving user experience. Another example would be like fitness trackers. I have, for example, the Aura Ring, and they use AI to see how was my sleep. So did I have a beauty sleep or a monster sleep? And depending on what happened to me during the night, they are going to recommend I have certain activity, and they can set certain goals like you slept really well, push it today, go a little bit further. This is the day where you can be more active. Or if I didn't have a good night's sleep, they would say we recommend you to have a quiet day, prioritize resting, and so on and so forth. Another very cool one, and that you may, and I think this one is a little bit more subtle, but I feel like if we would go back to before this technology existed, we would say, what's going on? No, not like this. And it's personalization and targeted offers. So, every streaming service uses personalization because you see your feed and they are, because you watch this, we recommend you watch that. Their mission is to keep you watching and watching and watching their content. So they know what are your preferences and they're going to put them for you like right there so you can keep engaging with them. The same thing with, for example, Amazon or online shopping. They are masters in beginning to gather your data, how you behave in their application, or if you allowed it, how you are interacting in other platforms, so they can understand what is your preference and give you relevant content specifically for you. So this is great. And also targeted offers. Maybe you've seen in Instagram that you were talking with someone about, hey, I think I want a new pair of shoes. And miraculously, you begin to see sponsor ads in Instagram about shoes. So this is targeted offers that are powered by AI. And then we have one that it can be one of the most controversial because they say that because of this is that we are going to remove a ton of jobs and the automated too. But this one is that it enables speed workflows. So in ChatGPT, it's a great example of that. You can grab a huge article or a contract and ask ChatGPT to give you the key takeaways, takeaways, not waves, ways from this document. So it's going to save you a ton of time from reading and going and doing a ton of research, and it's going to help you navigate through your work a ton more efficiently and faster. So this is in a nutshell. There are other capabilities and things that AI help us to do, but this is like core functionalities. So to see some like concrete examples is what we were talking about. For example, ChatGPT, it's an example of a chatbot. And here you can use prompts to receive a ton of information, including images, text, and recently videos. So you can create documents there, emails there. If you want to, I don't know, maybe create a cold message for someone in LinkedIn, like if you're applying for jobs and so on and so forth. ChatGPT, it's an amazing tool that you can use to fast track and be more accurate in approaching this kind of cold messages or emailing, or you can create email campaigns. So many things that what ChatGPT fixes or helps overcome is the panic of having like a blank canvas. Like, I don't know if you remember, like staring at a blank Word document and not knowing how to begin. So you can bypass this by creating those prompts with ChatGPT and basically speeding up your work. The other one would be Apple Siri as a voice assistant. There is Alexa as well and Google's Assistant. And what they do is basically use voice commands, and it helps perform tasks or answer questions very quickly. And you can simply, it's very enhancing because you can tell the device to write a text message to Tom and tell him that I'm going to be late 20 minutes instead of opening the app and typing everything yourself. So I would say keep an extra eye on voice AI, because this is going to be changing and speeding a lot of the things that we do nowadays. So this is a very fascinating area. And the other one, we have like the streaming service that we discussed earlier, how they analyze your habits and recommend personalized everything. Like Spotify now has a feature that it's the DJ. So the DJ, it's our bot that it recommends music, new music, or plays the music that you like. Or it could be like, because you were listening to this music in 2018, and it brings back an old idea. So it creates a very, very interesting experience. But let's go for the elephant in the room. Will AI replace UX, UI designers' job? So, obviously, when all these technologies emerge, we were thinking, is this going to do my job? And for our field, the general consensus is that AI will not remove the need for UX designers, nor it will replace human UX designers. And there are two big reasons why. The first one, it would be empathy. UX design, it's one of the most human-centric jobs, professions out there. It requires empathy, so you can put yourself in the shoes of the other and provide solutions to their problems. There is this thing that it's called like artificial empathy. And there was this debate. Can robots actually simulate empathy? And the conclusion was that computers can simulate sympathy. So, for example, you're talking to a chatbot and it's a customer support chatbot, and you're saying, I ordered this 5 weeks ago and it still hasn't arrived. The chatbot, it's going to say, hey, Ilham, I know this can be very frustrating and we are very sorry. Is the chatbot simulating empathy? No. Is it able to understand all the problems that this can cause to you? No. But it can simulate being polite and being nice and being sympathetic to what you're going through. So empathy, it's a human emotion, and that is not easy to replicate by a robot, if not impossible. I don't want to say something like never or impossible, because God never knows, right? But at least for the moment, simulating an emotion seems very, very far away. And the other thing that it cannot simulate is creativity. So I've seen AI generated images that are mind blowing. Did the AI came up with those ideas themselves? No, it was a human that was, let's combine this with that, and boom, something magical happens. And this creativity, it's not just the fact that we can create something that it didn't existed before, which is very hard to replicate for a robot, but also it's the possibility to creatively solve a problem. So Einstein says that if you try to solve the problem doing the same thing over and over, you're never going to solve the problem, or something within those lines. AI would try to solve the problem using methodologies that you tried before. It won't be able to innovate a solution because what it does, it's capturing data that happened earlier. It's learning from something that happened in the past, but it won't be able to create something out of the blue and do something new. That it's not within the capabilities of AI. It can like learn from humans to do something similar and simulate it, but it will never be able to do it like originally. Another important thing is that not only AI, it's not capable of replicating feelings or creativity or these things that are uh, what makes us human, but also the World Economic Forum created a list in 2023 of the top 10 skills that are on the rise. And everything you see highlighted in blue of the 10, so 7 of 10 are inherent of UX UI designers. As UX UI designers, we are going to have to adapt to the world that is changing, and technology is one of the things that change the most. So our skills and the way that we design may be different. Like maybe there will come a new platform where you just think it and the design appears. Okay, that it's gonna be great. But the skills, what solves the problems are here. And those are not just not going anywhere, but they are very coveted. And the same thing with businesses top 10 skills priority for 2027. So this is not just something that happened in 2023, but they are foreseeing that the demand for certain skills, it's going to be priority for companies across the world in 2020, like from now till 2027. And here 8 of 10 skills belong to UI UX designers, and there's one specific number 8 that says design and user experience. So will AI replace our jobs? The answer is no. Not only that, but our job, it's becoming more and more relevant. Our skills are more and more interesting for companies. So now that we got that out of the way, what we already know what AI is, how it works, it is not going to take our jobs. Let's talk about the difference between designing with AI, which is a common thing right now, and designing for AI. They are two very different things. So designing with AI, it's incorporating artificial intelligence into the design process. I give you an example. As designers, we have to document a lot of things. For example, something as easy as a button. You would have to say if the button is on hover, it has to change to this color. If it's disabled, this color, and so on and so forth. If it's in the screen, this is in this other screen. So there is a ton of things that we have to document. And AI can help us fast track that. There are tools where you say, this is the component I'm trying to build, help me document this, and it's making our work a lot faster. There are other tools that can help us select typefaces and colors with ease. Sometimes as designers, we have to spend a ton of time thinking about better color combinations, and there are tools that help us see what color combinations would work better. So we can type a prompt like, I am working for a medical application. Their personality is very sober. This is their mission. What would be a good color palette for this company? And it would give you suggestions, and then you can refine it. So it helps you, right? Creating things and brainstorming ideas. So there are some tools that help you create very quick UIs. Like I am designing a login screen. So you hit enter and it gives you a ton of options. So what you have to do as a designer is discern based on your problems in your research how to rearrange this in a way that it's helpful for your product. So these tools help us be more efficient. So that is designing with AI. Now designing for AI, It's different. It's designing for products that use artificial intelligence to interact and improve experiences. So, what we mean by this is designing for chatbots, designing for voice AI, designing for apps and websites that use this whole personalization and a ton of other things to enhance your experience. So, it's two very different things. I want to ask you guys, do you have any questions so far? Okay. This is a very interesting quote from Charles Liang. He is the CEO of Supermicro. Supermicro, it's one of the biggest or very important AI companies in the world right now. And he says, I believe this AI revolution can be bigger than the industrial revolution 200 years ago. The impact is everywhere. It will affect education, entertainment, how people plan, think, and design. So the reason why this quote is so important, it's because you don't know that you are leaving something important often until it's gone and you look back and you say, oh, this was really transcendental. AI is one of those moments that is splitting history books in two. It is everywhere and it's shifting the world as we know it. So, since it's changing the way we work and the way we live and the way we interact with technology, it could be an interesting time to learn UX UI design with an AI focus. But if this quote isn't enough, I want to share with you some facts. So, over 50% of companies plan to incorporate AI technologies in 2024. Put in other words, if you decide to study design for AI, you will have the chance to you will have the chance to work with the 50% of the company. So 50% of the companies are looking for people who is qualified to work with AI. So if you want to stand out in the job market and be a preferable candidate for this company that are incorporating technology, this is a great opportunity. Another important thing to see is that this is not a tiny industry. Just chatbots. Just chatbots. This is not including voice AI or all the other forms of AI that I showed you. It's projected to have a market increase of 14 billion in 2025. That is a ton of money. So it's an industry that it's receiving a ton of injections in capital. In the other chart, you can see voice recognition market and how it's projected to grow by 2030. You can see that the growth is exponential. So this is telling you up so far, companies are requiring or are looking forward to incorporate AI more and more. It is an industry that has a ton of money and it's an industry that it's growing consistently. And the other charts show us that currently used devices that feature some form of AI, it's 77%. So if you are a UX designer or if you want to transition to UX UI designer, if 77% of your users, which is the majority of your users, use some form of AI, the question is, do you think it's relevant to learn UX UI design with an AI focus? I leave you that question. And this is another quote. By 2025, AI will eliminate 85 million jobs, but it will create 97 million new ones, resulting in a net gain of 12 million jobs. Before, a long time ago, there used to be a profession, a person that would wake up very early and at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. would go knocking on people's doors. This person's job was to wake up people, and now basically machines do that for us, right? So it is not new that jobs get outdated and new jobs emerge. This is the natural relationship of evolution. In evolution, something has to be left behind and something new will come. So this is the law of evolution. It's part of the law of evolution. The question is where in the evolution you want to be, left off or in the new things. So yes, AI, it's transforming the reality, but something as a crisis or as convoluted as a revolution can definitely become an opportunity if you know how to make the most out of the circumstance. So now that we've covered all this, you may be thinking, okay, I think I want to launch a new career as a UX UI designer for AI. What can I do? So, first and foremost, the first thing is to make the decision. So, don't take as a truth everything I've said. Basically, take everything you've learned today, but do your own research and come to your own conclusions. And I hope that you realize that you can transform this revolution into an opportunity. The second thing is to get educated. So find a trusted source to get your information from and to learn how to design for AI. And today, I am very excited because I get to announce that we in Avo Academy are launching Designing for AI course. So if you give me a second, I'm going to stop my screen and I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of our course, if I can do this. Give me a second. Aha. Here it is. So this is our new the UX UI designing for AI products. I'm gonna leave this URL in the description so you can come and visit this page and basically play with it a little bit and learn more about our program. But what I want to share with you is that with this program, you will be able to understand what is product design for AI. And something that we're incredibly excited about is that you'll get to have hands-on experience in creating a product for AI. So throughout the course, you'll have the possibility of create your own AI solution and then put that in your portfolio and showcase that you do know and have experience in creating AI products. And this basically, and all the skills that you're going to gain here. And I remember this from a previous presentation, about 80% of the skills you learn in a boot camp like this one, you will apply in your job. So you will gather everything you learn here and you will be job ready for AI focused roles. So my invitation is for you to come to our website, and here, for example, you can see the curriculum and see each module in detail, what activities we're going to be conducting, so you can have a clear understanding of what our program is about. In terms of time commitment, you can do it in 8 weeks or in 16 weeks. And that depends on how much time you can allocate for learning this new designing for AI. And it can take, it can be between 10 hours per week or 20 hours per week. And right now, the cost for our program is $2,997. But I have some exciting news to share with you. So let me go back and share my other screen very quickly. Entire screen. Here we are. I have exciting news, but before we get there, let's just finish the steps. That was like a quick sneak peek into our program. So the third step, you have to build your portfolio. So if you are transitioning from another career to UX, you should create like you would gather all your case studies from all the projects that you work on, and are going to basically let everyone know that you are ready for design. Ideally, in your portfolio, you should have between 4 to 6 projects. And but something that is going to be amazing is that after you finish our program, you're going to have one piece specifically for AI to showcase in your portfolio. And once you have these steps, you're ready to get hired. You have to go through the whole interview process. And it would be great if you can practice the interviews and have some mentorships on your portfolio. But ultimately, all these steps, and we've done this with hundreds of students, it's when they complete the steps, they do get hired, and uh, they can access and land these amazing jobs. So this is a great opportunity because we are at the beginning of this. We're in the early stages of this AI revolution. So if you're thinking strategically, when is the best time? We are in the early stages. So this would be an amazing time to consider uh, transitioning to UX UI with emphasis in AI. And because you're here, and the exciting news that I have is that because we value your presence today and we value your thoughts, if you take a moment to fill out our survey, that I promise you it won't take more than 1 minute to complete, you will get $1,000 of our foundation course. And this is the UX UI course. So I encourage you to take this opportunity. It is the great moment, and this is going to make it even more affordable. So take a moment and fill out the form. Let us know how we're doing and how to improve. And this is our thank you for that. So this is the moment where if you guys have any questions or remaining questions, you would ask them to me. If you want to pre-register for our UX UI design course, you can scan here this QR code, and I am going to put all the links now in the description so it's easier for you. So first, I am going to add the link to the form. And now I am going to add the link to the pre-inscription. So give me 1 second. I am copying it and pasting it now. Do you guys have any question? I am more than happy to answer any if you have. So basically, this is it. I am so happy that you guys decided to spend some time with me. Thank you to those who joined today to this event. And anyway, if you see this later or if you see this video in YouTube, please leave the questions in the comments and we will make sure to answer them as soon as possible. Once again, thank you for deciding to spend this time with me. For me, it's a pleasure and a joy spending time and sharing things, especially opportunities that you can take to transform your life. Is what I did a few years ago, and I couldn't be happier now. So I really want to replicate this experience and share with others so everyone can have access to this. So that being said, once more, thank you guys. Hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I hope to see you in our course.